Namaste ji. Today now we discuss characteristics of third house in astrology. If you like this information, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. In astrology, the third house, also known as the house of communication or sharing, governs communication and short distance travel, reflecting how we connect and interact with others, communication and learning. The third house is ruled by Gemini and the planet Mercury, emphasizing how we communicate, learn, and process information. Immediate environment. It represents our immediate, our surroundings, neighborhood, and local communities, as well as our relationships with siblings and cousins. Early education and travel. The third house also signifies early education, learning experiences, and short travel. Skills and hobbies. It can also indicate skills, talents, hobbies, and interest, encouraging individuals to explore their creative sides. Third house in Kundli governs journey, intelligence, habits, interests, and inclination. The second house relates to how you express yourself through words and actions. This includes virtual communications through the internet. Our value. Second house lead us to explore certain interests. We like to do things based on our values, but also we grow and develop. We are attracted to new interests. The first house is the first Kama house, the place where we pursue our interest above all else. This house also relates to everything that occupied your early life environment, such as neighbors, primary schools, and even your mind. As the third house is ruled by the communicative, Gemini and Mercury, chatting and gossiping are all part of this house. Since the third house, natives are motivated by expression, they tend to build a close relationship with siblings and peers. The third house stands for the Bhratrasthan, which reveals our consideration for younger siblings. The third house governs our mental inclination and the ability to memorize, while the ninth house in Kundli stands for higher education. The third house indication the inclination to study. It is also third house which determines how we engage and exchange information with people. In Vedic astrology, the third house is referred to as Sahaj Bhav. It is all about staying connected, loving, bonding, and sharing with our family members, especially younger brother or sisters, friends, relatives, the community at large, or even our natural surroundings. We need to communicate all the time in some form or the other. How we harness and manage this activity, how we understand others, and in what manner we use our experience, our ability to adapt. It keeps our social circle tight. Proper analysis of the third house can help us attain higher level of achievement in our personal life as well as in the collective cultural of humankind. Fundamental of third house in horoscope. Vedic name of the third house. Sahaj Bhav. Natural ruling planet and sign. Mercury and Gemini. Body part associated. Neck, arm, shoulders, collarbone, upper chest, ear, breathing, canals, and hands. People in third house, siblings, co workers, and peers, like a fellow student and fellow manager. Activities in third house, writing, games, athletics, fun, and stimulating, pursuing interest, and initial stage of learning. The third house is related to Gemini, which is the third sign of the zodiac. Besides the ruler of communication and intellect, Mercury is the natural significator of the third house. The third house is the best house for Moon, Mars, Venus, and Saturn, but it also a weak for Mercury. The areas of life ruled and governed by the third house. The third house in Vedic astrology relates to communication, journeys, brothers, sisters, creativity, mental intelligence, interest, habits, and inclination. The third house is about creativity. It is all about your mind and its formation. If the communication is the framework that includes everyone and everything is in accordance with the planets which are placed in the third in astrology. Significance of the third house in astrology. So the third house determines how we exchange information and how we engage with peoples. The third house rules over various modes of communication like telephone or mobile, various channels of medias like TV, radio, postal, social media, telegraphy, etc. This communication can be any of the forms oral, written, or broadcasted. The third house is called the Sahaj Bhav in the traditional astrology of India. So, the third house is all about linking, getting, and staying connected, bonding, loving, caring, and sharing. All these may be with our family members, relatives, friends, the larger community, or even nature and the ecological surroundings. As per in the third house in Vedic astrology, while the third house in Kundli mostly influences the communication that take places between the natives and their younger siblings and neighbors. Another very important aspects of the third house is our changeability and are you facing relationship issues, adaptability. We are surrounded by communication all the time. How do we harness and manage it? How do we understand others and In what we manner do we harness and manage it? How do we understand others? And in what we manner do we use experience determines our flexibility. The third house represents socialization that occurs quickly and without much thought. It's where social interaction unfold effortlessly, akin to the living room's role in a new home. Remember the viral challenges of the 2010s, from the Cupid Shuffle to the Harlem Shake. This pre-TikTok sensations mirror the third house essence, quick to catch on, easy to share, and reflecting the mirroring nature of relationships. In the third house, wisdom and wit passes between peers and family as easily as comments on the latest viral dance. Your birth chart's third house thrives on this dynamic interplay, echoing the ongoing dialogue between us and our immediate world. Any drop of wisdom, trendy catchphrases, or backward wisdom falls into the third houses of astrology. This house determines one's writing and linguistic skills. The position of Mercury in the third house can significantly impact a person's communication skills, mental agility, and ability to learn and absorb knowledge. You may also have a sharp wit and a talent for writing and speaking. The third house is also related to short journey such as travel within the local area. Planets placed in the third house can indicate the frequency and nature of short trips the individual is likely to undertake. It can also suggest whether these journeys will be pleasant or stressful. In Vedic astrology, the third house is also considered Adusthana or malefic, which means that the planets in the third house can indicate conflict, challenges, obstacles in communication, sibling relationship, or short journeys. Communication, transportation, and the local community are all governed by the third house. Planets placed in this house are motivated by expression and often help guide you to build close relationships with your peers, including siblings, co workers, and classmates. Communication is the solution to most problems and the basis of all successful relationships. When planets transit the third house, we often receive important information about our immediate network. The third house is said to signify cognitive intelligence, one's areas of interest, routines, and preferences. The third house focuses mainly on how your mind works and its cognitive pattern. It gives a clear insight how your behavior and thought process. The third house in astrology also depicts one's and cognitive abilities. Professions that relates to communication like journalism, writing, media, advertising, marketing, event planning, etc. are part of the third house in astrology. All of these these professions being under the domain of Mercury.